30 days ago, I didn't know Swift. Today, I've started building my first app for iPhone. This is the story about why I decided to pivot my business from web apps to iOS, how I learned Swift in record time, and what I'm building next. I'm no longer a fan of writing for the web. Don't get me wrong, web development is fine, and if you can make it work, all the power to you. But in my experience, web app users expect everything for free. They do not like to pay. They're not trained to pay. As a solo founder, I don't want to have to fight for every click. And honestly, a lot of the products that I plan to build, they don't make sense to build for the web in the first place. I've started building a training app, a hypertrophy app. It works, it's a web app. People always ask for the iPhone version. So I need to try a different approach. That's where Apple comes in and iOS, because customers on iOS are trained to pay for pretty much everything. Kind of part of the ecosystem. Apple over the years trained them, like literally trained them to expect subscriptions and in-app purchases. If you can hook into that, that gives you leverage. So I've decided to build a portfolio of iOS apps by first making them and eventually also by buying them. But acquisition is the long game. For now, I only know enough to be dangerous to myself, so to speak. First, we will stick to building, and we will build demand-driven, so we will use keywords and App Store optimization. Anyway, that was the big picture. Now let's talk about how I did it. How did I learn Swift in record time, in 30 days? This time around, I didn't want to fumble. Last time when I learned web development, I kind of hacked away at it, solving problems as I went. And it took quite some time for me to get fluent with all the things that are out there. And I would say I'm fairly decent at this stage, but it took me 2 years to get there, something like that. And I can't spend that much time on learning Swift, so I needed something faster. But luckily, there are solutions out there. If you don't listen to the guys who tell you don't do a course, courses are scams, just build something you need, and you get a course, and you do the course. Turns out you learn it quicker. At least I do. It works better for me, right? There's a lot of people opining out there telling you what the best way to do things is, telling you you should do it one way or the other. That's another lesson, by the way. Learn for yourself, think for yourself, and do what works for you. For me, the hacking away, just build something real, doesn't quite work. Maybe I'm not smart enough, I don't know what it is, but if an instructor sits down on the computer and walks you through, do this, do this, do this, do this, I'm like, okay, I get it. This is how this works, right? And so I did that for the last 30 days-ish, 28, I think. I did this hacking with Swift, 100 days of SwiftUI, and I'm almost done with it at this stage. So in 28 days, I managed to pack in 100 days of content or of learning, right? The curriculum is 100 days, and I managed to compress it. And that's for 2 reasons, I think. Number one, I did as much as I could every single day until my brain was fried and I could no more. That's number one. Number 2, this is my 3rd language. I started with Python like way back, and then I went into JavaScript afterwards because I realized that Python is good for on the server, but not so good for in the browser. If you want front-end interactivity with Python, you're severely limited, so you need JavaScript. So anyway, I learned that afterwards. That was faster than Python, but also took time because, as I said before, I did the hacky approach and was like, let's build something real, which I didn't do this time. So at this time, we went through much more quickly because we did it more smartly by doing a course. 100 Days of SwiftUI, Paul Hudson, 2 straws on Twitter, give him a follow, or if you want to learn Swift, I can highly recommend that. It's a very good way of doing things. He's a good teacher, excellent teacher. What I did at the same time though, I mixed the 2 approaches a little bit. I also made real apps, or at least the fragments of apps, not the whole thing. But whenever I was like, okay, this makes sense in that app, like whatever I learned in the course, right, this little thing makes sense over here, I would then go and take that and try to implement that sort of functionality in an app that I have in mind for building. So I did the course, and started on apps at the same time. I did it in parallel, so to speak, but mostly I did the course. So I'm not going to say I just hacked away. Because if I had done that, I would still be nowhere today with this, I think. So at this stage, after 30 days, I did the 100-day course. Where am I at in the sort of overall Swift journey? I would say I know enough to build simple apps. I don't know enough to make very complex things, but that's not what I want to do for business anyway. I want to find a niche that is underserved where I can build simple apps and fill that niche and niches, right? Apps after apps after apps to see what sticks and works. So for simple apps, I think I know enough. I know how to send data around. I know how the front end works. I'm fairly fluent in the front end UI already, like making the front end easy. The other stuff isn't so hard either. You can look it up. So I think we're good. We're there. So the goal wasn't to become a superstar, like a black belt. The goal was to be good enough to win a fight or two. And I think I'm there. I can win a fight or two. The next thing to learn is making App Store listings, publishing to the App Store, all that sort of stuff, dealing with rejections. I have no idea about any of that. I've never ever done it. At this stage, I don't even have a developer account, so I'm gonna get that today. I'm gonna get started with that. Learn how the ecosystem really works, the salesy part of it, the commercial part of it. And once I've launched these 3 little apps, I will of course share what happened there right here on the channel, because I want to use this channel to document the journey. I'll share everything I learn, the ups, the downs. There will be downs, of course, as there are always in life. The goal is to build a repeatable system, a lifestyle business, a platform that scales, an app sort of holding company where I build and I buy apps. And that will be my business. So we'll see where we got it with this. For now, it's looking good. I know how to do Swift. Swift is awesome. I love Swift. By the way, I love Swift. Amazing. Bye.